All right. Firstly, good to have you here. Just for the audio, really, just get you to clap once. Okay, so can we firstly start with your full name and job title?
Ali Asid, Physio.
So, firstly, when was the first time you remember that you got into football?
It's always been part of my sort of growing up life since I was young, pretty much. Back at home in Gambia, and then I came over here in 2005. So since then, been involved in like the youth sort of like set up at Luton. So I started there probably under 12s, but before that was playing sort of like Sunday league football, and then moved to Luton until I was maybe on the 18s, and then I did my first year pro there, but then started playing on league football from then.
So who did you play for in London?
Played for Hitchin, a few clubs, so I played for Hitchin, St Neots, and AFC Dunstable, and so I stopped playing in 2022, I believe, and then kind of started doing the physio a bit more, sort of like full time with the football teams and stuff like that.
So, of course, then moving on to your physio stuff, how did you get into that? What was the kind of thought to go down the physio route instead of the coaching?
I think it was just sort of, coaching was never for me. I think I ain't got the patience for teaching people and stuff like that. But with the physio, I think because I was coming through like the youth team, I was always getting injured. I was one of them always on the physio beds, always in there asking questions about what's wrong with me and stuff. So just kind of got the interest in there, and then football didn't work out for me, unfortunately. But I chose to sort of just go down the route of being a physio. So went through the PFA. They sort of like helped me out with it. So I studied in New York for 3 years, done my full 3 years studying, qualified, and then came back home to work at Luton Dunstable Hospital. So I done my rotation there for about a year. So you do like your neuro, your MSK stuff. So like every 4 months you have a rotation. So I've done that, and then moved to like orthopedics at Watford. And yeah, so just kind of like always just wanted to help people. Enjoy that side of things. I mean, it didn't work out me playing, but I'm still in the football industry and like the environment. So yeah, I think physio was the next thing for me rather than coaching.
And obviously through your training, how does that kind of help you with the cardiac arrest and the heart condition stuff?
I think you're always taught that from the start at university anyway. You do your first aids, you do your CPR training and stuff like that. But I think it's probably one, like we can tell now, it's probably one of the biggest things that I'll probably learn. I've never thought that I would ever have to use it, but it's something that is always continuous sort of training, up-to-date training that we tend to do. And I think it was probably, didn't think I would ever have to use it, but obviously it's come in hand in terms of the cardiac arrest. It's happened in hospitals that I've worked in, but you've got doctors and nurses there. But obviously when you're at a football pitch or football arena ground and stuff like that, you don't expect things like that to happen, especially non-league football and smaller clubs and stuff. So I think, yeah, it's quite important.
So now I want to take you back to the day that you actually had to use those skills. Starting off from when you woke up in the morning to obviously the end of the day and the end of kind of the ordeal, as we'll put it as that. What do you remember?
I was actually playing back then, so I've just got my normal routine, got up, music on, sun was out, so I was buzzing. I think we were playing Hertford, so it was quite a big game because they were quite a good team as well, and we were trying to get in the playoffs. So I was got up my normal routine, had my breakfast, got ready, went to football, played. I think I played probably about half a game or just over. So I've gone and sat down in the dugout with my flip-flops on. Game's ongoing, and then unfortunately Poch went down. So then I just sat there because we had a physio went on. So I just sat there. Well, as long as it went on, the physio side of me kicked in, and I was like, well, why didn't you go and have a look and just trying to give him an extra hand? But they were great, Nicky and the Hertford physio back then. So I just sort of went on to see what it was. And again, it was the signs, and back again, taking it back to the training we used to have, it was just all the signs and everything I saw that he was in. So I just kind of went routinely, just done the CPR, so for the procedure what I've been taught, and then just done the CPR on him, and luckily we still got him here. We still talk, and for me it's kind of like not something that anyone would want to do, but I'm glad I was there to sort of help, and the other physios were there as well. I'll give him a shout as well. Like, they were great, and we all worked together to sort of help him out until the ambulance came and stuff. But definitely having a defib there was the main thing. I think we could have done the bits we could do, but reviving him and bringing him back was definitely having a defib around the ground. That was managed, just easy access, managed to get that sorted.
How many times did you have to revive him in the end?
So I think it was twice, I believe, if I can remember correctly. So we got him back the first time. So we done the normal chest compressions, mouth to mouth. Got him back first time, and then he went back. We had to do it again, but then that's when the defib came. So then we managed to put it on. I think we gave him 1 or 2 shots. Okay, but by the time we gave him the second shot, the ambulance came anyway. The air ambulance came, and we kind of just handed it over to them, and they carried on doing. So we just handed it over and then just let them do their sort of business.
Is there any part of you that was scared in the moment you thought you may have lost him?
There was one point, yeah. I think he came back before, he's fine. So we're just trying to keep him up, talking to him. And then he just had another big gasp there, and you can see that he's going back, his eyes started to roll. And again, we just went back into doing chest compressions with him until, like I said, the ambulance came, and then we just handed it over back to them. But yeah, it was a blur. I think we were just talking about it earlier on when I just saw him. I think that moment there was nothing around you. It was just a blur of silence in that moment. And I've never had to do it. So in that moment, I was surprised I remembered what to do. So yeah, it was scary, but I think in that moment you just kind of did what you had to do, and what I had to do was put that training in practice. And yeah, it did work that time.
So on from that, you've been awarded an award by Bedfordshire FA for your work. How good was that to get that and get recognised for something like that?
It was a nice recognition, definitely. But I didn't take that award just for myself. I think that goes to all the physios that were there, all the staff that were helping bring in the defib, everyone that was there to help. I don't think it's an award I will solely take on myself, because I think it was a teamwork stuff that managed to help us obviously keep Poch alive. And it was nice to be recognised, but it's not an award that I'll definitely not be buzzing about or sort of wanting to get all the time, because that's not some sort of award. It was a nice gesture, it was a nice thing to have and be appreciated for it. Saving someone's life is definitely one of the best things I probably would ever do in my life, and I'll take that greatly, but definitely not something I look forward to getting again, in terms of you don't want to be in that position or have anyone in that position, definitely not.
And a couple more just generic questions to finish off. Do you think more should be done by the FA and the EFL up front, the Premier League, the whole way down into grassroots, to tackle the awareness of cardiac arrest as well as heart conditions in football?
Definitely. I think that's the biggest learning curve I took from it. The biggest learning I took from it was just, I think a lot needs to be done. I think if players can be sort of screened, doesn't matter what level, some sort of basic screening could be done to ensure that no one's suffering or has any underlying heart conditions that might impact them, sort of like their life. Football, it's lovely to play, but I think that needs to be sorted out before they even get on the pitch, and that needs to be across all age groups, all levels. I think the training in terms of CPR, doing just a basic life support, I think that should be implemented just in players as well, because sometimes it might happen that you might need help. So I think physios, we're there, but I think players also, and clubs as well, can be taught just a basic, this is what happens, this is what you need to do when this is happening, just to recognise the signs of cardiac arrest, recognise the signs of if someone's getting into cardiac arrest and want to support. But I think the Premier League, EFL, non-league football, everyone should really, defib should be at every single ground. I think that should be a non-compromise thing to do. I think the training everyone needs to be trained. I think it's important because you just never know. It could be someone in the crowd, it could be anyone. You just don't know when it could happen. But I think it's very important.
And if you've got one final message to those the top of the EFL, top of the Football League, telling them what they need to be doing to making people more aware, what needs to be done to make sure that we're not having players up and down the country suffering cardiac arrests and suffering, what would it be?
I think if anything I would have to say is just, again, it goes back to the training. It's go back to funding. So looking at it as, yes, there's putting more into just the defibs, putting more into the medical side of things, supporting clubs, because some clubs might not be able to afford a defib. So putting it out there, how can they get a defib? Where is the go-to? Where is the sort of resources? That it's just more than football. It's someone's life. So if we would have lost Poch, I don't think that would have had so much impact. Not me, but everyone surrounded with the club, associated with the club. So I think his family. So it's much, much bigger than football. But how can we support these local teams? How can we support grassroots football to be able to put in, to ensure the defibs are there, the training, adequate training is there. And if it's within the local hospital, just to make them aware and have that sort of connection to say, okay, you've got this is your local football team, this person's got a cardiac conditions or anything like that. But just that little training, I think, would help. Getting the paramedics in 1 day a week or something like that, funding it for clubs, having that training, like I said, with the clubs, with the teams, with the staff, just for that basic life support, understanding of what to do. But I think if the money's there, then I'll put it out there and help them out, because I think a lot of clubs do need it.
Brilliant. Can I get you just looking down the camera and saying there's still time to revive?
Yeah, there's still time to revive.